Welcome back, everybody. In this video, I'm obviously, if you read the title, I'm going to be talking about the GVM 1000D. Now, to give a bit of a backstory, I bought the 2-panel light kit off of Amazon because I'm trying to do research, deciding what's the best bang for the buck, and there's so many LED light panels that are good. You know, it's kind of hard to find a bad one anymore as technology progresses. So when I did purchase them on Amazon, there was a little box to check right underneath the title. It said, you know, add a $60 coupon off of this, and the price was already like $340, so that knocked it down to $280. And these lights were on a lightning deal twice before I decided to take the plunge. I looked at one-day lightning deal, went back a few days later, maybe a week later, another lightning deal. I'm like, yeah, not passing this up. So for well under $300 for these two lights, that was another unexpected bonus.
Unexpected but ruthlessly efficient.
And they included 2 soft boxes with Velcro and a little waffle grid to attach to it. And I thought, okay, great, it's a little bonus in there. And I think that's a great deal compared to the Aperture Amaran, I think the P60X, P60C. The price point was a bit more than what I was willing to go for. It's like one of those lights was the same, if not more than 2 of these lights. And I've got one as my key light up there. And so that made the decision a bit easier. So the specifications on this, I'll put up on the screen if anybody's curious on there. I thought the CRI rating of 97, just like the GVM 672S that I also have and made a video of that a couple years ago now. Still a good light, still serves me well, and now I have the 3-point light system going on. And this is great for anybody who's just starting out or anybody else like myself who's on a budget and really trying to either learn the basics of how lighting works, or if you just need something simple and portable. And I like these because you can just stick a Sony NPF battery, or 2 actually, on the back, and you can take them anywhere and set them up anywhere if you need product photography on the go, or do a bit of portrait work outside in the late afternoon, evening time in the woods or something. I don't know. You do what you want. It's all personal preference. The barn doors around here, they're plastic, but they're very sturdy plastic compared to, let's say, the 672S, which, yeah, not only it came with its own NPF batteries, but it came with aluminum metal barn doors all around. These are plastic, but if you're not planning on tipping it over, and hopefully you don't tip them over, then it's fine. You know, it's nothing to be concerned about. And plus, you know, the panels are kind of known for a bit of light spillage and leakage through the corners. But if you don't have the soft box and the Velcro to put around it, just, you know, I don't have one at the moment, but just drape a towel over it. Problem solved for free. And also, if you happen to catch the last video I made, which was basically the unboxing video of the lights, I took a look at the light stands, which were included in some nice felt bags, and they're not big sturdy C-stands. They're pretty basic. So the extended pole, as my key light is on, it's bending a little bit, but the base of the light stand, the 3 poles are extended almost completely flat out onto the ground. So maybe a tiny sandbag or a bit of a weight might help a bit. If you're outside and it's a little breezy, then yeah, maybe a little recommended. But, you know, keep in mind, the sturdier they are, the better quality, then that would probably mean the price would have been a little higher. So simple math, it is what it is, and they're fine. Now, as probably expected of, you know, the more budgeted lights, the power supply is a dangler.
That's what she said.
Shut up. But like I said in the unboxing video, if you can find a way to jerry-rig it or attach it to the post so it's not dangling, then, you know, that's great, but it's not something to worry about because, you know, the way it's attached to itself, and if you accidentally trip over it, you know, it'll pull right out and there's less risk of damaging any of the components. So that's great too. You can see right now, this is only at 1% brightness compared to the 672S, which worked in 10% increments. The 1000Ds work in 1% increments, which is awesome. And so let me turn it around for you. Actually, this is only 1%, and that's at 2. And you can see on the screen there, it's already a significant improvement. That's 3, that's 4, that's 5. And that's pretty bright. That's very good output for LED panel. And I've got the white balance of this at about 4400 just to give it that middle ground for the purposes of watching this video. If it turn it around, you can see some would call it an improvement. I'm kind of indifferent on it. The older screens were blue with thin white LCD lettering, and this is full LED. Bigger numbers, easier to see maybe if somebody has some color blindness issues. The up and down arrows here are just for switching the channels, which you don't necessarily have to do. It just depends on what your needs are for your setup. If you're filmmaking something specific and you need more than one channel, and it really only works on the slave and master mode. The rotate is basically the same setup as the master mode, it's just without the channels. So underneath that, the slave mode, pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to follow the other light that's on the master mode. And of course, master mode is what it is. The app mode, you can't adjust anything on the back. It's only adjustable by way of using the app, obviously. And the left knob turns the brightness 1% increments. You go all the way up to 100. That is extremely bright. It may not work if you're outside right with the sun shining, but I may try that one day, just for kicks. You press the right knob, it goes into either hue mode. It can take a while. It's harder to adjust when the brightness is lower. But if you want to adjust the hue, it's going to take a bit of time, which is a benefit to using the app. Press it again, go to saturation mode, and go all the way to 1%. And I noticed when I was tuned to the most red hue I could, and then I turned the saturation down to 0, and I noticed right up against the white wall here, and I had it about 6 inches closer, so it was about a foot and a half away from the white wall. I don't suspect anybody out there is going to do this, but depending on what you shoot, I can see the light sort of the square look, the lines, maybe you can see it on the screen here. It's kind of dominant. If it's further away from the wall and your subject is further away from, let's say, a white wall, it's probably not going to make a bit of a difference because your aperture settings may be different, and then you've got the depth of field and it's out of focus, got the nice bokeh going on, so it may be totally unnecessary to worry about that. But just for the sake of argument, if it's right up against the white wall, you can kind of see it. But I doubt anybody's going to really run into a huge issue with that. It's harder to see when it's strictly on the CCT mode, kind of more noticeable on the hue saturation mode. So something to think about. 2 NPF batteries. I like buying extra batteries just so I don't have to use constant power plugged into a wall. If you're watching this and you pay the electricity bills, you know what I'm talking about. You want to keep those electricity bills low, invest in some NPF batteries. It's just upgrading technology, that's all it is. Does it change the game? No, it just improves what you're trying to do. At least that's how I look at it. So for the most part, these lights serve my purpose personally, and if you're thinking about investing in some of the, let's say the GVMs like the 800D or the 1000D, the 1200Ds, or I think they either just came out or they're about to come out with the 1500Ds, that may be overkill. I don't know what your needs are. You know, leave a comment down below if you're thinking about any of those. All I know is, you know, they didn't send me these. I bought them with my own money after doing the research on what I wanted and what I needed. So there you go. And I'm also using the tiny little GVM, like, you know, just because it's the YouTuber thing to do. Now, let's get into a more complicated issue here. The only thing that I really had a problem with, at least at first, is the app. And some people said, well, you can't make use of the effects that are included in the light unless you have the app. That is not true. You can make the effects work without the app. And let me show you that. All you have to do, let's say I'm in CCT mode, all you have to do is hold the right knob button down, and guess what? It goes into the scenes. And this is scene number 8. They're listed up there. There's 8 scenes in total. When you hit the right knob again, you're starting at scene number 1. So let me talk about the app and my issue with it. This is just my personal opinion. When I was researching the lights, I looked up the app needed, or what they said the app was needed for or to be used for to control the effects. So I go on the Google Play Store, and the reviews on there are much like the Apple Store reviews. They're almost all bad, way across the board. I think the rating is about 1.8 at best. And reading everyone's comments, seeing why some of them had the update from long ago, they couldn't get the app to work anymore.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds like shit.
It is what it is. Well, I'm thinking, I don't necessarily need these special scenes for lighting. You know, just need good bicolor, RGB, solid light. I'm good to go. The scenes I figured were just a bonus. That's it, nothing more. So when I bought it, you have to create an account with GVM. You know, email, password, and all that. And they're supposed to send you a code in order to activate everything. Now, on the phone, you have 90 seconds to input the code to confirm everything's working. This may take a couple of tries because you don't always get the code sent to your email within that 90 seconds. That's kind of silly, kind of an issue for some. And so, got the code, put it in, and then it asks to gain access to your photos, video, all the media stuff on your phone. And at first, I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I don't see the point in allowing that. Now, when I hit no, it took me to a page that was in just complete simplified Chinese language on the phone. And there's a couple of button options I can tell, but like, I don't know what to press to move on from this. So I guessed one. I don't know what it was. And then it also asked for location access and GPS and all that. And I could be wrong on this. I don't know. I'm not a coder or engineer for apps, but do you necessarily need location just to activate the Bluetooth to make it work? And I don't think you need to make an account just to make the Bluetooth work, you know, control it and communicate it from there. It seems very unnecessary and a little suspicious, kinda. I just don't see the point of it. If I'm wrong, you know, if there's a method to the madness, please leave a comment down below so myself and maybe other people who are concerned about it, so there can be some clarification. And I would make a personal plea to GVM, please fix that. Please update it. We shouldn't have to have an account just to use a bit of Bluetooth. It's kind of pointless. So, GVM, if you're listening, please think about that. Please fix what a lot of people are unhappy about and what a lot of reviews have said. Just saying. So, okay, that out of the way. If people are concerned that you need the app, you don't need the app. But let me show you really what the app can do. Turn the Bluetooth on, hit connect. Once the app is up and running, it is good. It is good for what it is. I'm just saying that a lot of the other review YouTube videos out there don't mention the frustration that you have to go to get it to work. And I got so frustrated that I was very tempted to actually send the product back when I thought I was hitting, a dead end and something that was supposed to work wasn't working. But I uninstalled the app, reinstalled it, went ahead, gave it the permissions that it was asking for, and after that it was fine. If you're not concerned about, just allow this, allow that, then it's okay. It's fine. So on CCT mode, you can adjust things a lot faster with the control wheel on here. And it also comes with a little power button. Turn it on and off. Wouldn't go too fast on it back and forth, because there's a couple of times it can get stuck and stopped up. But I don't think anybody's going to just be constantly tempting fate with that. Let's see, the HSI mode. Yeah, adjusting the hue in the app goes a lot quicker than constantly turning it with the dial. And the brightness on there, just slide it around. Pretty good. Saturation. Let me bring it back up. Saturation. That's pretty quick. Now the light itself, the beads, they don't gradually fade and flow, brighter and darker. It's kind of static or staccato. It's blip, 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 blip. It's very sudden, if you can tell. Yeah. You can see what it's doing here. I'm probably blowing something out on the camera. But it is what it is, and it's what you do with it that matters. I don't know if it needs to be said, but I apologize in advance. There are flashing lights a lot right here. So, Now the scenes. Scene number 1 is lightning. You can see the pattern here. And depending on where you place it, and if it's a very quick shot, let's say you're making a movie that requires some lightning, you might be able to get it to work, or people get the idea. But you can only adjust the brightness with that. Scene number 2, cop car. This, I think, is the most useful scene out of everything. The filmmaker in me is thinking, I can use this for some scenes. But you can only adjust the brightness with that one too, which you can also do on the back of the panel. So, candle. Yeah, candle's not really working for me because, like I said, it doesn't have that fade and flow of light like a candle does. You're probably better off investing in some actual, little LED candles or something that they may sell at Walmart or Home Depot. And I could have sworn at one point that there was a way to adjust the white balance on there, but maybe not. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Leave a comment down below if you think you can make that work. I don't. Now, TV. I mean, you can only adjust the brightness from that, not how frequently it adjusts itself, but I think you can do something with TV, maybe. Now, bad bulb, if you're hanging the light, if you got it positioned overhead and you're making like a horror movie, you can get the idea across, I think. As long as the audience doesn't notice that it repeats the pattern a lot. It depends on how you edit that. And not only can you adjust the brightness on the bad bulb, You can adjust, and you can do this on the back of the panel too. You can adjust the CCT. You can adjust the color temperature from warm to cool. However, when you do that, the bad bulb effect stops. And so it'll keep the white balance color temperature, but you want to switch to a different scene and then go right back, and then it'll pick up what it needs to do. Next one is Party, P-A-R-T. Why? Well, somebody's got it. Here's where the app comes in handy. Now, Party and Disco mode are basically the same scene. There's really no noticeable difference in either of them. However, what you cannot do on the back of the panel that the app can do is you can adjust the cycle from 0.1 second all the way up to 5 seconds of the same color. Okay, that is the one difference between Party and Disco. Party will keep the light there and change it every 5 seconds. Disco will keep flashing the same light. So I can see that working for a movie or something. I just would not recommend it for the background of your YouTube video, because that will get very distracting. And paparazzi?
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. The camera flashes are simply gorgeous, darling. Really they are.
And paparazzi mode, which you can only control the brightness on there, but that's fine. I think paparazzi works well enough. So I hope that was a decent amount of information for this light of what it can do, and yeah, I'm certainly happy with it. I bought what I wanted and needed, and it's an investment that's going to last me well into the future, especially for, YouTube videos, little filmmaking scenes, especially in tight spots, maybe in product photography, all sorts of things. The only obstacle, the only thing holding you back is your own imagination and creativity. So, yeah. And if you enjoyed the information and what you saw so far, if you got something out of it, please, by all means, hit the like and subscribe button, give it the little thumbs up. It'll really help the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any other questions or observations, if you bought these lights yourself for your YouTube videos or whatever you're doing, I'll do my best to answer it. There are other videos that go a little more bit in depth to the technical specifications, and that's fine. I'm just concerned, am I getting what I want out of a shot or out of a scene? And that's what counts at the end of the day. So again, thank you very much for watching. Y'all be excellent, and I will see you in the next one.
The colors, Duke, the colors.
Insert Jeopardy theme. So yeah, more even. Oh, see, we're on the flesh. It's just nicer. My face may not be the best example for that, but yeah, what are you gonna do?